Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. This is just a fast look round. Literally, this one hasn't done autumn yet, although I'm sure it will do soon. That one has. That's my hornbeam. This one missed its pruning slot, so lots of old leaves on here to come off. Actually, a little bit more than I thought there. I've got a feeling that's got a bit dry. Get some water on tomorrow. This one that got forgotten to be watered and looked like it had died obviously hasn't. There's still life in the tree. This one's coming up to autumn now, so this one will drop its leaves. My Disa orchids are still outside at the moment, but as time goes on, we will eventually get to the point where there's a threat of actual frost mentioned on the weather forecast, at which point they'll have to come in. The Sarracenia needs to stay outside, but the other tray with the others in is full, so I'll have to sort something out with that. Yes, you've had all afternoon to come across here. You choose right now when I turn the camera on. Heavy duty. Right now over here, a lot of my ferns died back because of the heat and the lack of water, but some of them have produced a new frond, yeah, which means they're not dead, which means I can look forward to them coming back next year. This are good. I love my ferns. The Michaelmas daisies have done well, but the wind and the rain have bashed them about a bit. Again, ferns pushing up new fronds, we like that. The worry about the primroses having died right back and looking very sorry for themselves, having got a bit of moisture, they're all growing really well now, so they're pushing up, ready to bloom in late winter. What else coming around here? We've also got the geraniums, which are putting on a last bit of colour. They will have to come indoors. Obviously they can't stay out when it gets too cold. The fuchsia's done well, that's good. This bonsai is starting to do autumn. This little fuchsia that Hannah got me has had a lovely lot of blooms recently. This one got missed with the watering and dropped a lot of its leaves. Since then it's also done autumn, so it looks in a right sorry state, but if you have a look, there's plenty of life in here. It'll be back next year, no problem. That's that. This geranium is a star performer. It lives under the ivy and it dies right back out of sight in the winter, and then it comes back and it blooms for about 3 months. And as you can see, you know, with the heat and the sun not being on it now, it's putting on a fantastic autumn show. These blooms are absolutely gorgeous. It's my best geranium by far. I know Hannah wants a piece, but she's going to have to burrow in under the ivy to get a piece. That's that. We've still not got a shower of birds coming in to feed on these berries. Well, so be it. I'm enjoying the colour. Buddleias are virtually finished now. There's virtually no blooms left. But we also have no butterflies around now. I think the colder nights and everything are sort of, those that hibernate are probably going to do that. This is interesting. That's seedlings. I suspect they are all forget-me-nots. Everywhere. Even up in here. There'll be a few weeds amongst them which I'll have to sort out. This is starting to do autumn. Colette cut that one. That's my only new tree. Colette cut that back a bit too hard, I think. It only blooms on new growth, so I doubt if I'll get any blooms next year. This is a hawthorn, and it's the red one. We do have another lot of seedlings coming up here, which I suspect could be forget-me-nots, but they might be valerian, the red valerian. It's possible. This in the storm blew over twice and emptied a lot of its grit off the top, but it'll survive without that. This is doing autumn. The two conifers over there, the white pine I need to do some more work on, but I'm hoping to do that at the next Wessex Society workshop. And my Scots pine behind it still needs the lime sulphur done on it. Round here, I'm getting fed up with these flipping spiders occupying virtually every space in the garden. Still getting some blooms on the scabious. Yay! I think that's the first time when I've been filming I've actually remembered the flipping name. It's not the wild version, it is actually a hybrid. This huge clump of red valerian is still pushing up blooms. The sedum has sort of finished now for the year, the blooms have gone, it's starting to sink back. My beech bonsai is just starting to turn. That always puts on a nice lovely yellow show. It only does yellow, there's no other colours, and then obviously the leaves turn brown and stay there for the winter, they don't drop. The Japanese larch, I'll get there in a minute, is starting to do autumn, so it should go a reasonable yellow before it drops its leaves. That's a bit light, I think that needs some water as well. And this other Scots pine, I've decided when I go to the Wessex Bonsai Society's next workshop, I'm going to get rid of this one because I don't like it and I don't want it. And I'm also going to get rid of this Scots pine because it doesn't appeal to me. It was a bit of a joke tree. I just pulled it out of the ground, literally, didn't dig it up to see if I could, and I could, and I did, and it grew. But it's got a reasonable trunk. I'm sure somebody can make something out of that, maybe, but I don't want it anymore. The idea is with the bonsai staging that I do away with this one and open up the garden a bit, and the bricks are going to be used to edge that that planted border over there, because it keeps creeping out over the pavers, so it's going to get pushed back. I'm going to use these bricks as edging along there, which means I haven't got a base for this. And I have an idea. You see that wrought iron chair over there, which I use to put my RO unit on when I'm using it? In the shed I've got the other three, and I thought if I put two chairs in this area here facing each other and put this across them, we could get some of these things up in the air a bit and make them a lot more visible from in the house when I'm sat at my workstation. So that's a thought, not a plan, that's a thought. I have to run these things past Hannah. Not allowed to do them on my own. So what else have we got? This is dying back now, colder weather again, it's virtually finished blooming. This has also got to go to the Wessex Orchid Society, Wessex Bonsai Society, to be styled. It's in here is a really good bonsai, really good, but it's had no styling yet. Oh, I did try to take some air layers and they failed, so I left the branches on. I didn't cut them right off back to the trunk on the grounds they'll become gin. If you don't know what that is in bonsai terms, go and look it up. This is supposed to be a quick video. We've got this perpetual wallflower, which will be another load of blooms next year, but the plant is starting to look tatty. It's grown. I don't think you're supposed to keep them this long. That's what it really comes down to. If I cut it hard back, it'll probably die, because as you can see, there's no new shoots down here. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm relatively certain. Now I could easily go and get another one, they're not expensive, but I think we can get one more year out of it, and then it'll probably have to go and be replaced. And I would replace it because bees and hoverflies absolutely love it. The lavender was cut hard back, that's pushing out loads of new growth, that'll be good again next year. The rosemary, yes, has grown on nicely since it was cut hard back, And all of these lovely long growths will be a mass of blooms next year, and it's early nectar for the bees and the butterflies. And Mojo, I was just going to come and sit with you, but the sun's gone in. Why I went and got the camera, oh, and this is my something no May. It's a Japanese cherry, and it blooms on bare twigs. It's put on a lot of growth this year. It's due in autumn, it's dropping its leaves, and it has a reasonable shape to it that you could call a bonsai, but I don't prune it like a bonsai. I prune it like a fruit tree to get blooms. We don't get fruits, but we get blooms. So that's coming on. That's looking good. And this area that Hannah cut the bonsai, get me words in a muddle here. Hannah cut the bamboo back to the ground, and there will come a time when lots of new growth will come up. I will use a chemical to kill it at that point, and that gives me a large planting area. There are bulbs in here, there are snowdrops, there are fritillaries, I think there's a couple of bluebells that made it just about. There's some ferns. I want this area shaded by this shrub from the serious sun in the summer. I want this to be like a little woodland glade. So I've got 30 bluebell bulbs to plant, and I'm going to get some more ferns. Enough said. You don't need to know. To literally put along the back there, so we'll have some ferns and we'll have some bluebells. I'm going to take this ivy right back. It'll come back, but it can be pushed back. And then why I went and got the camera is to show you what happens with the sun, but unfortunately the clouds have come over. Now I'm pointing the camera at the sun, so it comes round here, and the sun has an arch. Yeah, it has an arc, which in midsummer is up there where that seagull is, literally very high in the sky. And the whole garden is in the sun from when it comes out from behind the big oak tree until it goes down behind that tree. That's quite a long period. This time of year it's much lower in the sky, so it comes out from behind the tree, and as it comes round here it ducks behind the house in its arc. So the window of sun on my bench where Mojo likes to sit, and so do I, is very short now. It's gone from there to there to there to there. And as you can see, it's getting already down towards the house. So I came out here to get that short period of sunshine and sit in the sun with Mojo on the bench with my glass of wine and just catch some sun. Unfortunately, the cloud has decided to appear, and the cloud's going in the opposite direction to normal because it's going that way. So it's coming down from the north and moving southward. I'm just trying to work out the direction. You look at the tree, you can see the movement. Yeah, but normally the clouds come from here up this way, so they come in from the southwest and blow over behind me, whereas at the moment they're coming from behind me and coming down this way, and that's because of where the high pressure is. So the wisteria over there is due in autumn. It's already dropped a lot of leaves and the rest are going yellow. That'll be gone soon. The maple, the red maple, that is doing autumn, but it doesn't show that much because it's already red. and the leaves go on orangey red before they drop. But it tends to do it very quickly on a couple of days when we get some wind. So the colours start to turn, and then we get a bit of a storm or something, and you look round and nearly all the leaves are gone. Anyway, so that's the garden and the state of play as it is. My son's hoping to come round and help me with the decking, as you can see that's in a bit of a mess. The boards are all lifting or dropping and doing one or the other. Some rotting going on over there. So there's some work to do on the decking, but I was in no hurry to start it. For me, it's a winter job when it won't be being used. That's the idea. So this is me sitting out in what was a nice sunny afternoon and no longer is, catching the last few rays of the sun in the garden, because eventually that sun will be so low in the sky it will only have about an hour in the garden, just in this little corner here, which is why the bench is here. So there we go, that's what's going on. And basically the garden and the bonsai in the garden are shutting down as we head into deeper autumn. I mean, what are we now? We're getting into October. We're not up halfway yet, but we're heading that way. And the days are shortening dramatically. We've got some fine weather for the next, well, proposed, right through this weekend and right through next week. It's supposed to be dry and reasonable weather. But as a consequence of the shorter days and the longer nights, when we get clear skies overnight, those temperatures are dropping down. And obviously the cold nights will trigger a lot of, settling down in plants. They'll think, hello, winter's coming, time to shut down. So this is the period when all of that happens. There's a lot more leaves to drop, a lot more bare sticks to look at and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, Mojo's disappeared somewhere. Oh, he's being sensible. He's decided the sun's gone in, so he's over there by the door waiting to go in. And I think I'll join him. So thanks for dropping by. And I'll see you next time. But as berry years go, this is a good year for the old berries. Sorry, I can't see what I'm filming here. There we go. This has been a good year. A good year. So where are them birds? I have seen a couple of blackbirds around, but they're not descending on the berries at the moment. Maybe as it gets colder they will think about it, but not yet. Still got very little bird activity around here at all. Listen. Well, got some git in a car with a noisy exhaust, but apart from that, silence. There's no bird sound at all, not even screaming seagulls. Nothing. Now hopefully as it starts to get colder, the birds will come in from the open countryside, from the fields where they'll be picking up the last of the seeds from the drop from the harvest, because the harvest always knocks some seeds down onto the ground. The birds finish those off. The thistles and things like that, they will be finishing the seeds off. So eventually they will start coming into the parks and gardens where there's a bit more going on as far as food is concerned. And I'll be getting my bird feeders set up in the not too distant future to try and keep them here if they arrive. That's the theory. Anyway, see you next time. Thanks for dropping by.